Welcome to the Darkstream, Vox Day, voxday.net, and we're coming to you live exclusively on unauthorized.tv. As I promised, we're going to do a reaction to part of Owen Benjamin Big Bear's special. The reason we're not going to do the whole thing is I don't watch videos that, no, I'm just kidding, is because Space Bunny wants to watch it and she doesn't want me to know the entire thing. And so I thought, well, what we're going to do is I'll watch maybe the first, 5-10 minutes at the beginning. And I was told then also that there's a bit of sort of the community focused stuff at the beginning. So I'm going to skip ahead to the 50th minute. I just randomly picked a time to jump to, and we'll react to it. I don't think I'm going to be getting big into unboxing or reaction videos, but I am now a food blogger, of course. And so who knows what's going to happen, I never thought that we'd be making leather books. I certainly never thought that we would be doing regular video stuff. Before we get into it, though, I do have a couple book-related things to mention. First of all, as some of you probably know, I published a new book today. It's both a new and an old book because this is a collection of short stories that I had released some years ago, only in ebook format. Added some new poems, or some poems written since then. Also added a brand new cyberpunk short story, and I think you'll like it. So it's available direct from Archaven, and if you buy it from Archaven, you get the hardcover and the ebook. But it's also available from Amazon, from Barnes and Noble, from Blackstone's, a number of places, number of booksellers. Direct from Archaven is now also available in the UK. So if you're in the US or if you're in the UK, you're good. So let me know what you think of the stories once you get a chance to read them. And then this is just bindery update stuff. I think you'll find it exciting too. And what we have here is our first original stamp at the bindery. And so here's one image of the newly bound book, and let's put up another one here too. Here's another image that you can see a little bit more clearly, and this is it's actually, I think this is actually a comic, but you can see that the line on the curve is perfectly straight. What's exciting about the stamp is that's the first stamp that we've had made, not for the bindery in the States, but for our own bindery in Switzerland. It's custom built with holes specifically for our gold foil stamping machine, and you can see that we're really getting the quality together. So it's a long process. There are more things that go wrong along the way than I frankly had ever imagined. just to, to put it in perspective, we're trying to get a bit ahead on the production process with history. And so I arranged for a copy of a book from something like 1833. Got it sent. I found 2 copies in England. Got them sent over to one to the U.S., one to me. And so the print shop is scanning it at super high resolution, and then they call up. They're like, we have a slight problem here. I said, what's that? I said, we're missing a 16-page signature. I said, I thought they said the book was in decent condition. They said, well, it was, and what they mean by it was is, of course, they take them apart to do this really high quality scanning, which bothers me as a book purist, but you know, if you can trade one for 500, it's a good deal, right? He said, no, it didn't fall out. I think that this has always been missing the signature. You know, pages 180 to 196 just aren't there. And I'm thinking, don't we have enough problems to deal with to not have to be addressing problems caused by somebody 200 years ago? I mean, some book assembly guy in England was being careless, didn't put the proper number of signatures in the book, and we discover this and have to fix the problem, you know, 92 or 192 years later. It's crazy. But we did fix it, though. I found another copy of the first edition in Ireland and managed to get it out to the printer. So anyhow, hopefully that one has the missing 16 pages. Anyhow, so that's what's going on. And without further ado, let's see if this works. First of all, I'm going to set it up so that it's full screen, and I'm not. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, test. That's not working. Let's get this. See if we got them.
Had these dreams lately.
Let me know if both
Well,
if you're gonna dream
are
big,
working, please.
right? It's just a dream. It's just a dream. It's just a dream.
dream. This is your dream.
Got a dream. What is your dream? To
Can everybody hear both?
Within a dream. 2 levels.
I've been dreaming.
Dream.
So I can hear
Is
it.
this a dream?
Dreams. Dreams. That's the dream.
Whose dream?
Big guy.
Big mouth. Big
Dreams come true.
Follow your dream. Dream a little dream.
dream, baby. Got a dream, baby.
Dream on, brothers. Dream on.
This is the dream. This is the
I'm
dream.
sensing a certain
dream
theme here.
alone is only a dream.
A dream you dream together
Okay.
is reality.
Yeah, the bad dream.
I've been dreaming, guys, dreaming. Guys, I'm so sick of things being done to me that I want to do things again. One bike burning a year and at least a couple
about now?
massive music
I can turn
and
myself up.
comedy festivals.
Victoria, are you ready? Standing 6'8" from the land of Victoria, the Slayer of Wizards.
Nice tent. I do like the tent. Holy cow. That's a lot of people. I didn't expect that many people.
That energy is unbelievable. Oh my God. They told me I was canceled.
I didn't expect that many people.
They told me I was canceled. 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 They told me I was canceled
Whoa,
of
dude.
excitement.
Take a seat, man. That was the peak. Oh, my God. That was surreal. Give it up for Coddington. That was hilarious. And I had never heard that before. I always just I'm like, yeah, do whatever you want, man. I was like, he's going to tank. Be crushed. Singing about dwarves. That's how I view him. Oh my God, Missouri's so great. Make some noise for Texas County, Missouri.
Looks like there's 1,000 people there.
I was getting a little jammed up before the show. Like I normally don't. Like before shows, I never really get jammed up. But I was like literally getting jammed up, and then I stopped because I'm not gay. So I'm dialed in. People keep coming up to me and thanking me. All you guys keep thanking me, and I want to say this to all of you, all at the same time. Thank you. I mean it. You have no idea what this means. Not just to me, but my family and my friends and comedy itself, because they say they can cancel people, but they can't. They can not let you in their theater or their club or their little parties. But as long as there's a tent and there's people and there's water, you know, and there's a little Coddington Bear with his little guitar, we can still do it. And we got to do it ourselves. And I think that's one thing that brought us all together. Because a lot of people don't know what a bear is. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I've just been crushing gravy with my mom. My 81-year-old mom is here. Yeah. And my wife and my 4 sons are here. And thank you guys so much for being so cool to them. Thank you. Brandon from Beartac. Thank you, buddy. Dude, every time I see my mom, she's just drowning in gravy, dude. I'm like, hey, Mom. She's like, I just met a nurse who saw what was happening during COVID from within the hospital. I'm like, Mom, you're drowning in gravy. Make sure you drink water. But I've been having the best conversations. Like this one guy came up to me and he goes, this is so epic. This is the best festival I've ever been to. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks, man. He goes, it's because it's like everything's good. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, at first when you weren't selling beer, I was like, this is going to suck. But like, I feel really good now. I'm like, yeah, because you weren't poisoning yourself this time. He's like, I had so much fun last night, and I remember all of it. Yeah. Yeah, it's from not poisoning yourself. Literally, it's that simple.
Yeah,
He's like,
if
I
we
keep
ever
eating
have
the
a
food
festival,
here,
there's definitely gonna
and
be
I feel
wine.
really good after. I'm like, yeah, it's not poisoned food. It's really easy when you see the pattern here. He's like, and everybody I meet is so nice and so warm and so interesting. I'm like, yeah, I hang out with cool people. He's like, you can do that? I'm like, yeah, the people that suck, you don't have to be around them. You can just ban them for life, you know? If I talk this whole time a little bit like a pledging sorority girl, is that cool with you guys? So, traveling here with it's so great seeing all the families here, especially people that met at the last festival and now they have a baby, you know? And just seeing the kids run around because family is wealth, and I tell that to everybody I can.
I'm going to skip ahead now.
And my son,
I think we got the idea
we're
here.
traveling. Actually, change it back. What?
Let's see, where are we?
Joke.
Okay.
What, boys? Little joke. It's just like becoming so stupid. And, yeah.
I have no idea what he's talking about here.
And people are like, so what do we do now? I'm like, just not that. You know, people always ask that, but what do you want me to do? I'm like, just something good. Like, I don't know, scream nigger until you start a giant thing in Missouri? Like, I don't know. Just do anything. Like, dude, I had the funniest thing happen. Some dude's walking with his kid,
And he's like, hey, little buddy. He's like, that's the dude who's always screaming in daddy's phone. And he's like, but if it wasn't for him just calling me gay, you wouldn't even be here. Dude, it helps. Shame works. Dude, shame works, man. I just want to bring back that it's an insult. I don't even care. I'm just like, yeah, it's gay. They're like, how dare you? I'm like, can we all at least admit that being gay is bad? You know what I'm saying? But the future's bright. This is one thing I'm seeing a lot is people acting like everything's over. You know, they're raising their kids with a lot of fear. And I think it's just starting, you know, like they're always like, oh, the music now is so bad. It's so disgusting. Everything's so disgusting. The baby boomers are like, we went to the moon. We put a man on the moon with grit. And our music had morality. I'm like, dude, you had a song called Highway to Hell. Like, that's the most directly satanic song in human. And you guys probably are like, oh, no, it's a good song now. It's fucking Highway to Hell. It's not like Side Roads to Hell. It's like Highway to Hell, like the fastest you can get to hell. Like no detours, no exits, just hell. Now, get to hell. And so it's always been the same struggle, man. And what do I got? What was I going to talk about with Highway to Hell? I don't fucking know. And music, you know, nowadays people are like, oh, music's so bad. Okay, I'm going to play you guys a little music. I'm going to show you what music used to be like.
Oh, this is fortuitous.
Dude, I had the funniest conversation. I got to tell you this story real quick. So apparently I'm the guy to call if you get kicked off platforms now because I survived, you know? And like, what was it, like 8 months ago? I get a call from Kanye West. And he's like, hey, man, it's Ye.
That was
like,
really bizarre.
Wait, what? Seriously? And it was. We ended up becoming friends. And he's like, I hear you can get through this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah, you can too. The advice I told him, I go, just don't be dependent and don't be a victim. They don't have to give you any of their systems. So whatever they kick you out of, they made and you're not entitled to. And I go, yeah, you want to know what would blow the world's mind? If you started picking your own cotton for your own clothes. Dude, I told him that, and he was like, yeah. I was like, dude, because say what you will about Kanye. He said one of the truest things of all times. He said slavery is a choice. And that's a fact. And I was like, you want to break victim consciousness for your people? You get out there and you pick cotton and you show off funniness. Let me tell you a little story about today with the Bears. So we're all just hanging out. And 100 dudes just get on a truck, like all these trucks, and we all go out into a hay field, and we just start doing work. We're just stacking hay, right? A lot of you guys were there, right? Wasn't that, like, so beautiful? So people are just doing work because it's good, you know? And this one dude was in the true story. So this dude was, like, far away in the field, and he looked like he might be dehydrated. So me and my buddy get in the truck, and we drive over. And we roll down the window. We're like, you okay, man? And he's like, he's got literal tears in his eyes. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just having a moment right now. And I'm like, gay, right? And no, but here's the thing. My buddy who's driving, he catches the moment, and he starts getting jammed up. And they're like, and I'm just sitting here in this gay Oreo, just like, but they were like so blown away at just doing work. You know, they're like, we're just doing work because it's good. You know, because we choose to, because we want to, because we're grateful for this world. I'm like, yeah, and that's how you are not a slave. The slave is always dependent and a victim. And if you don't do that, like, so if Ye was out, and that's why people freaked out about Ye, because he was this close to picking his own cotton. And that would have changed the game. You know, and so whenever I do make a friend who's black, I try not to, but when it does happen, I make sure I say nigger so that we have so we understand. I don't call them that because that actually is insulting, you know? Like, I'm not saying to call black people niggers. I'm saying just don't say N-word like a child, because in Marxist ideology, you need a permanent victim class, and they just keep switching it. So don't participate in that, okay? Sure. So So, and I tell Ye, I go, because I just say nigger. Like, I don't call him one, or I just was like, yeah, I got kicked off for saying nigger. I won't say N-word, I just won't do it. And he like paused, he's like, yeah. And I'm like, because if you think about it, when people say the N-word, like it's supposed to be so offensive, kids don't know what this next word means, right? All right, I'm like, necrophilia is way more offensive, right? And he goes, rape's worse though. And I'm like, bro, I'm supposed to be the one saying weird shit, dude. I'm not comfortable where this is going. And I honestly felt weird. Like, is that how I make people feel? Like, I literally was like, dude, I'm tapping out, man. This is going places I'm not prepared for. He's like, yeah, but if you think about it, there's a living victim. And I'm like, yay, I'm done with you, man. You go pick your own cotton. I'm out of here. I was trying to make I was trying to be the one saying something weird that's like powerful, and he just totally changed the game. And I was just like, dude, I don't want to have this conversation. So the baby boomers always talk about how their music was so much better, and they love Bob Dylan. Would you like to hear my impression?
That was an
of Bob
impressive
Dylan
tangent.
singing?
I'm still not sure how we got from that to Yay, but.
Yes, and how many roads must a man walk down before you found him a man? Baby boomers are like, it's so bad. He's like, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. And baby boomers, I'm like, dude, it's so bad. And then we had the 90s, we had Pearl Jam, and they didn't even pretend to even say words. And I was like, on a sailor, on a poor Charlie, her, sir. I said, and I won't what I said, and I call out, yeah, oh, yeah. How about a hee-haw, yeah, oh, round the way, oh, Bob Dylan, I want to drum it. It's mind-blowingly bad. And I love that, like, white dude bros still love it. We can't help ourselves. Copper and Pearl Jam. Like, you know how bad that is, and you're still like, yeah.
All right, so it was interesting. I think that, obviously, haven't seen the whole thing. So, but what I find fascinating about it is that it's almost one part tent revival, one part comedy, and one part self-help personal exhortation. Was it drop dead funny? No. It wasn't even what I would necessarily describe as stand-up, proper stand-up qua stand-up. Obviously Owen can do it. He couldn't do what he's doing without his skills at that. But what he's doing is, I think in some ways, more effective and important because he spends more time building community and talking to people about, you know, what in other contexts would be described as self-empowerment. You know, he's almost using comedy as a language, or as a medium, not even a medium, that's not what I'm looking for. He's using comedy as a platform to communicate philosophical and practical lessons. And it's not difficult to see why canceling him was so important, because you know, you can see the way that people respond, the way that people are excited to hear and gain some context and guidance. Nimkoi's got a good point. She said, would non-bears even get it? Yeah, I think they would. I think they do, because it's clear that you know, entertainment doesn't have to fit into a single category in order to be entertaining. Now, I think that, you know, it's a live event, and so a live event has a, you know, power of its own. That's why we go to live events instead of just listening to the music, even though the music could be theoretically more technically perfect. But we go to the live event because there's, and it's not just, this is something that I didn't really realize until fairly recently. And frankly, I realized it as a result of Baby Metal, even though I'd read about it before. I've never thought about it before. Is that we go to live events in part to experience the communal nature of the event. You know, Baby Metal is much more enjoyable at the event if you're participating. You know, they have all these, you know, little choreographed gestures that the crowd picks up on, and a significant percentage of it does. And, you know, there's somebody was talking about them after after one of their big concerts. They said their audience feels like an army, like they're trained, you know. And Bilbo Swaggin says traditional stand-up specials require years of practice and refinement. Presumably, I mean, I wouldn't know, but it is interesting that often the more talented comedians, whether it's somebody referred to Bill Hicks, whether it's somebody like you know, a Dennis Leary or George Carlin, they have a tendency to almost go, or actually David Chappelle especially, they have a tendency to almost go beyond the jokes, and they just start openly relating to the audience, not in a way that you're using the audience. Like, for example, a lot of comedians now, Darrow O'Brien and you know, a number of other folks, they ask the crowd questions and then they riff off of that. Yeah, Norm Macdonald obviously is the biggest biggest and best example of that. Now, is that optimal in terms of reaching maximum funny, the maximum amount of humor? No, I think that it's not. It's not focused on that, because and yet it is arguably more memorable, more entertaining, and more of an experience. Just because it's, you know, nobody really likes that much a really well-rehearsed comedian who is repeating the same thing that he said 60 times. Bilbo says, Sam Kinison crushed with a special that took him a decade to perfect and then flailed about. Do you mean that he flailed about after the special because he didn't know what to do, how to follow it up after that, or did he was he flailing about during the special? I don't quite understand what you're saying there. But it's interesting. I mean, it's not. It wasn't quite. It wasn't what I expected. I thought it was going to be more traditional, telling funny stories and stand-up jokes. Um, I didn't hear a single stolen joke ripped off from Space Bunny in that section, in those two sections. So I was a little disappointed about that. Um, a lot of people. Bilbo didn't answer the question. Yes, I said this or that, and you said yes. Okay, so he perfected the material in a special, and then he didn't know what to do when after the special was done. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, and I mean, I think that comedians probably have the same problem that a lot of writers do. Jay McInerney, who was supposed to be the great new American novelist because he wrote Bright Lights, Big City, which was so vivid and so exciting and so interesting, and it had it had money and sex and New York City and the what do you call it, um, the journey, and it had all these elements, and people were thinking, hey, he's going to be the great new writer. But he wasn't, because he wasn't actually inventing anything. He was just doing a fictionalized version of his actual life experience. And that's not how you get a great writer. You might get a good book, but you're never going to follow it up, because you know what? He's already written about what he knows. He's already written about his life. And that's why I think it's that's why I think it's so interesting to see the way that Owen is not falling into that dead end by simply telling joke. I mean, he's a sufficiently talented musician that he could probably do the entire set just doing funny songs. I mean, if he was going on the Boomer thing, he could have done our "Proud to Be a Boomer" song. Killed 6 minutes plus another 10 minutes of telling tangentially related stories that occurred to him, and and that would have been what, a fifth of the show. But he doesn't need to do that, and that's not really, I think, necessarily what his community wants. No, I do think that if he's going to reestablish himself as a premier comedian, he's going to have to put something like that together. I think that and frankly, I think it'd be good for him. I think that refining your craft and seeking to do things that are not necessarily exactly what your core crowd wants is a good thing to do. That's how you grow. That's how you expand your audience in a good way. You don't ignore your crowd. You don't ignore your core. I mean, you heard that roar of that huge crowd. The crowd was there to be with Owen and share an experience with him. And I mean, that was obvious from the beginning. And that's something that he can do easily. He's got that connection with his bears. It's this tight bond of mutual affection and respect that be very difficult to break, very difficult to screw up. So, I mean, as long as he's not a complete jackass, that's not going to change. But like for example, when there's a number of people that like my writing that are not going to like the newest story in there called Shinjuku Satan. It's a no holds barred story, and one of my associates, I asked him to read it. He knows Asia, he knows Tokyo, so I just said, hey, would you check this out? And he came back and he was like, his first words were, holy smokes. He said, I that was intense. I was not expecting that. And that's good. You can't do that all the time. But it's good to seek to do something new, different, and better, as long as you don't abandon what brought you there. And so, and the NASCAR and all the SJW converged entertainment organizations, they're doing it in completely the wrong way. Go and actively reject your base and go off and pursue these new audiences that might not even exist. That's not what I'm talking about. So I found what I saw of it, and I'll share what I think about the whole thing when I see the whole thing. But my immediate reaction is just it was just good to see. It was joyful, more than it was funny. And so Grime Knight says something about the story if it causes me to put the book down and stare at the ceiling in horror. Yeah, that was my reaction to a Maupassant story. Maupassant's one of the 2 or 3 greatest short story writers of all time. I doubt anything that I would ever write would ever reach that level. Even if one of the stories, The Deported, is definitely written in his style, and another story, The Log File, is a essentially rewritten form of one of his own. So anyhow, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Owen has agreed to be my opening act when I do launch my eventual career as a stand-up comedian. He's also my agent, by the way. So if you're looking to book what so far would be, I believe, a 4.5 minute performance, we're ready for that. What I'm talking about here is, we were talking one day, and I said, I think I understand the core mechanisms of comedy writing now. He said, really? I said, yeah, I've just been watching what you do, and I see how you do it, and I understand the difference between like a Simon Evans and a Darrow Brain and a John Mulhaney, different the different way that they structure the jokes, they bring around to the callback in order to get a familiar laugh, that sort of thing. In the same way that I'm not really a writer, I'm just a very adept at understanding what writers do, and I'm able to emulate that at a reasonably high level. And Ukrainian Bear says, if your trucking career is any indicator, I'm certain your comedy show is going to be amazing. Minnow sends a super chat. From writer to trucker to comedian, never stop crushing. Nimkoy says, I'm down, but you got to do it 1.5x speed. Oh, I can speak quickly when I need to, especially if I know what I'm planning to say. That's not a problem. When I'm doing a live stream, I constantly have a significant amount of processing cycles governing what I say before I say it, because there's always lots and lots of people who are literally going over every single thing I say, looking for a way to disqualify or discredit. John says, be certain to work the word Spitzausstellungsfolge into your comedy. Increase their word power. Super Delta Bear says, whoa, what happened to your truck driving career? Well, I had to put it on hiatus. I don't know if you're aware, but the trucking industry is having a lot of difficulties. Convoy, the second largest transit company, may be shutting down. And more importantly, Space Bunny has not been buying any obnoxiously large furniture or animals lately. So that's I wouldn't say I'm retired. I would say that I'm in abeyance. My trucking career is in abeyance. Ukrainian Bear said, do you anticipate delayed laughter? Well, actually, I think the reason that Owen is encouraging me to give this a try at some point is mostly because he thinks that the possibility of me bombing so badly that it goes all the way around to becoming funny again is a distinct possibility. But I think the reason I think that there is a possibility here is that I think I'm naturally suited for the Simon Evans style of humor, where he just shows up with open contempt for his audience, and I think it's funny. He likes to begin when he's doing a show up in Northern England. He'll say, and he's got a very sort of posh English accent, and he'll say, hello to you all. I'm sure you're interested in hearing my accent. It's very different from anything you've heard before. I'm sure it is in fact educated. And and they think, and so anyhow, it could be interesting. It could be interesting. What happened was I told Owen a joke. In fact, you've seen the joke. I can even play you what we turned it into. Let me see if I can find this here. I might get the wrong one first, just as a warning. But let's see. Here we go. No, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, we did a little Dark Lord news thing here, and I'm not sure which one it is, but it might be this one. No, this was not it. Okay, so that was not the one I was looking for. Let me see if I can find the one I was looking for. No, I thought this was funny. I mean, this was the joke that I told Owen, and he said, I can tell that it would have been funny if I knew what you were talking about. No, this is not it. Okay. Maybe we didn't do it. I thought we did. Could have sworn we did. That's one. Oh, maybe not. I guess we didn't. I guess we never did it. That's too bad. Anyhow, the oh, so there wasn't even any audio. Anyhow, okay, my apologies. But here, I will tell you the joke. I just said that I was at the Zurich Zoo the other day, and I was a little bit, I can't even remember what I'd have to look it up again. But the point is that the whole joke revolved around understanding that the organization Dignitas is a suicide organization. And Owen pointed out correctly that this was not something that was necessarily likely to be known by my one-man audience of him. So he said, you delivered it right. It's funny, but I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And so I think that his thinking is that there's a very good chance that the entire thing could go that way. So anyhow, who knows if we'll ever get around to it. I got leather books to make, man. I got books to bind. I got books to write. But if we ever do some sort of Beartaria thing in Europe, I think there's a good chance that we might give something like that a whirl. I think it'd be an interesting challenge. Big Red says, a good comedian has to entertain himself first. See, you can ask Space Bunny. I've got that part down. So anyhow, we're going to go, the camera's about to go dead here. So check out the whole Big Bear special on Unauthorized. The whole thing is up there. I got to get the super chat I missed. Slacker Stacker says, has China's insane COVID lockdowns changed your opinion of Xi? No, not at all. Any 5D chess here? There's so much going on in China that we don't know about. I don't think we can even try. Sam Freeman says, people should criticize your turtleneck. It's the best material you'll ever have. Okay, I did not follow you there. Ukrainian Bear says, I just bought 2 Castalia library books. Well, thank you, Ukrainian Bear. Thanks for the support. Yeah, you will love them. Totally certain of that. Law Dog Files has begun shipping, Heartstrong Bear. Look at the newsletter. There's the email. You should be getting it or any day now. So check in with our shipping email. Anyhow, like I said, you guys are all on Unauthorized, so I don't need to encourage you to subscribe to Unauthorized, but check out the whole special. I'm going to be watching it this weekend. I'll come back with my further thoughts on it. I'm Vox Day. This is the Darkstream.